Hello friends, in a land where diversity is as common as tea stalls, India's Home Minister recently dropped a linguistic bombshell. Speaking English apparently is something to be ashamed of. Yes, you heard that right. In 2025, when the world is zipping along on AI-driven hyperloops and debating the ethics of brain-computer interfaces, India's political elite are wagging their fingers at English, the global lingua franca, as if it is a colonial stain that needs to be scrubbed out with patriotic bleach. However, let us not be naive. This isn't about pride in Hindi, Urdu, or Tamil, or for that matter, Punjabi, Kannada, or whatever language, Indian language you can think of. This is a master class in manipulation, a page ripped straight out of the playbook of our neighbors in Pakistan, where language has long been weaponized to keep the masses docile and the elite smugly in power. It is an absurd yet sinister plot to keep India's masses linguistically shackled while the ruling class sips Scotch whisky and quotes Shakespeare in private. On a balmy day in 2025, India's Home Minister, with the gravitas of a man who has just discovered the secret to eternal votes, declared that speaking English is a shameful act, a betrayal of Indianness. Never mind that his and his colleagues' children have likely attended elite schools where English is the medium of instruction, or that his own colleagues' speeches are peppered with Angrezi phrases when he is wooing foreign investors. He has got more than one colleague. I'm not just talking about the top man, there are others. And they have to speak in English or French or whatever to woo the investors or support for India. The hypocrisy is as thick as Delhi's smog. This isn't a new tactic. In 2019, a prominent BJP leader, while addressing a rally in Uttar Pradesh, proclaimed, Hindi is our soul. English is a foreign ghost. The crowd roared, blissfully unaware that the leader's own website was in flawless English, optimized for global SEO. The message is clear. English is for the elite, not the arm army. By shaming English, politicians create a cultural wedge, painting it as the language of snobs and sellouts. Meanwhile, they ensure that their own kin are fluent in it, securing their place in the globalized world of Ivy League degrees and Davos summits. The irony, the same leaders who decry English as un-Indian are the ones negotiating trade deals in London and New York, where their Hindi would be as useful as a bicycle in a flood. To understand the game, let us take a quick detour to Pakistan, where this strategy has been perfected. Since its inception, Pakistan's ruling elite, military generals, bureaucrats, and politicians have cultivated a system where English is the golden ticket to power. The country's top schools like Atchison College and Karachi Grammar churn out English speaking elites who dominate politics, business, and media. Meanwhile, the masses are fed a steady diet of Urdu medium education laced with jingoistic narratives about India, the West, and the evils of foreign influence. And the result? A population primed to cheer for the elite's agenda while remaining blissfully underqualified to challenge. Take the case of Pakistan's education system. A 2018 report by the British Council revealed that only 10 to 15% of Pakistanis have functional proficiency in English, despite it being the official language of the government and judiciary. The rest, they are stuck in Urdu medium schools where textbooks often glorify military rule and demonize outsiders. This is not an accident. As Pakistani sociologist Aisha Siddiqa noted in her book Military Ink, and I quote, the elite use language as a gatekeeper. English opens doors to global opportunities. Urdu keeps the masses loyal and limited. Unquote. The parallels in India are uncanny. In North India, where Hindi chauvinism runs deep, politicians have long pushed for Hindi medium education while ensuring their own families attend English medium schools. A 2020 study by the National Council of Educational Research and Training, or NCERT, found that 60% of students in Hindi medium government schools in Uttar Pradesh lacked basic English reading skills, even in class 10. Meanwhile, the children of MPs and MLAs are enrolled in Delhi's posh schools, mastering the Queen's English, while their voters are told it's a badge of shame. In North India, the anti-English crusade is particularly vicious. Politicians in states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh have turned Hindi into a sacred cow, milking it for votes while ensuring the masses stay linguistically stunted. The logic is simple. If you can't speak English, you can't access the global knowledge economy. You can't read international journals, apply for high paying tech jobs, or even understand the fine print of the trade deals your leaders are signing. You are stuck in a cycle of low skill jobs dependent on the benevolence of the same politicians who told you that English is evil. Consider the 2020 National Education Policy, which emphasized mother tongue education. On paper, it is a noble idea, no doubt. Teach kids in their native language to improve comprehension. In practice, it is a trap. In Hindi speaking states, the push for Hindi medium education has led to a decline in English proficiency among rural students and even students in cities and towns, because in North Indian cities and towns, the standard of education is really bad. A 2023 annual status of education report found that only 24% of class 8 students in rural Uttar Pradesh could read a simple English sentence. Meanwhile, urban private schools attended by the elite continue to prioritize English, creating a two-tier system, one for the rulers and another for the ruled. And who benefits? The political class, of course. By keeping the masses ignorant of English, they ensure a pliable electorate fed on populist rhetoric and unable to question the fine print of policy. As Noam Chomsky once said, control of language is control of thought. In India, the thought being controlled is the aspiration to rise above one's station, which is a legitimate aspiration for every human being, not just every citizen of India. Let us not kid ourselves. The politicians preaching anti-English gospel are not burning their Oxford dictionaries. They are fluent hypocrites. Take the example of a prominent North Indian politician who, in 2022, thundered against English as a colonial relic during a rally in Varanasi. Weeks later, the same politician was spotted at an international conference in Singapore delivering a keynote in impeccable English, complete with buzzwords like sustainable development and digital transformation. The crowd of global investors lapped it up, unaware that back home he had just slashed funding for English language training in government schools. This double game is not new. In 2014, a senior BJP leader from Madhya Pradesh famously declared, Hindi is the language of our soul, English of our servitude. Yet, his son was studying at a prestigious university in London, majoring in economics and tweeting about Arsenal's latest match. Mind you, London is the capital of the country that had enslaved us. The elite don't just speak English, they wield it as a weapon to maintain their grip on power. As George Orwell put it in 1984, and I quote, who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. Unquote. In India, controlling the language controls the present. Perhaps past and future too. The Anti-English Brigade is not just playing with culture. They are playing with India's future. In a globalized economy, English is the key to unlocking opportunities. India's IT sector, which employs over 5 million people and contributes 8% to the GDP, runs on English. Companies like Infosys and TCS don't hire in Hindi or Tamil or Kannada. They demand fluency in the language of the Silicon Valley. A 2021 NASSCOM report warned that India risks losing its edge in the global tech market if English proficiency among young graduates continues to decline, and it is declining thanks to our politicians and their dirty games. These games are divisive. They divide us on the basis of language, caste, creed, everything. And when they divide us on the basis of language, we suffer the most, not the politicians. Yet the political narrative remains stubbornly anti-English. In 2024, a Uttar Pradesh minister proposed replacing English with Hindi in all government job exams, claiming it would empower the youth. The result? A generation of graduates unable to compete for jobs at multinationals, relegated to low-paying local roles, while the elite's children snag internships at Google and other MNCs. It's a linguistic caste system, and the politicians are the Brahmins, right? Top of the heap. Back to Pakistan for a moment. The Urdu medium masses there are not just linguistically limited, they are fed a narrative that keeps them in line. Textbooks glorify the military, vilify India, and paint the West as a moral cesspool. The result is a population primed for jingoism, ready to rally behind the elite's agenda without questioning it. As Pakistani journalist Nadeem Paracha wrote in 2020, the Urdu educated masses are taught to love the nation but not to think for it. In India, the Hindi medium narrative is not much different. Textbooks in North Indian states often emphasize cultural nationalism, portraying English as a tool of Western domination. A 2022 history textbook in Uttar Pradesh described English education as Macaulay's plot to enslave Indian minds. Never mind that Thomas Macaulay's 1835 Minute on English was about empowering Indians through English, not enslaving them. The truth does not matter when the goal is to keep the masses ignorant and angry. So, what is the solution? Here's a modest proposal in the spirit of Jonathan Swift. Let us ban English entirely, not just from schools, but from parliament, corporate boardrooms, and Netflix subtitles. Let us force our politicians to negotiate trade deals in Hindi, write software code in Tamil, and tweet their outrage in Marathi and Kannada. Imagine the Home Minister addressing the UN General Assembly in chaste Hindi with no translator in sight. Well, I have not seen the Home Minister ever addressing anything outside of India. Anyway, that's a different story. Picture India's tech giants trying to pitch to Silicon Valley in Tamil or Sanskrit. The chaos would be glorious and the hypocrisy would be exposed faster than you can say post colonial trauma. Of course, this won't happen. The elite need English to maintain their global clout. They will keep their children fluent while preaching linguistic purity to the masses. But here's the kicker. The masses are not as gullible as they appear to be. In 2024, a survey by the English and Foreign Languages University found that 78% of Indian youth aged between 18 and 25 years wanted better access to English education, citing job opportunities and global connectivity. The people know the game, even if the politicians pretend otherwise. The anti-English crusade is a scam, a deliberate ploy to keep India's masses subservient while the elite play global chess. It is time to call it what it is, a conspiracy to perpetuate inequality. If India is to compete in the 21st century, it needs a population fluent in the language of opportunity, not shackled by the rhetoric of shame. As Nelson Mandela said, and I quote, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. Unquote. In India, that weapon is English. And it is time to stop letting politicians and their children wield it against us. So, the next time a politician tells you to be ashamed of speaking English, ask them why their kids are studying in London. Ask them why their speeches at Davos are not in Hindi. And then, in perfect English, tell them to shove their hypocrisy where the sun does not shine. Because in the end, the only thing we should be ashamed of is letting a handful of elites dictate our future. In case you have liked my video, please do like, subscribe, comment and share. Thank you.